This broadcast is brought to you courtesy of amateur radio station VK7AX in Ulverstone, northwest Tasmania.
From Queensland, this is VK4 WIA and the weekly Q News amateur radio news service. The text edition is available by contacting Q News at wia.org.au.
Hi, I'm John, VK4 JPM, Darling Downs Radio Club Secretary, with the club update for Sunday the 24th of November. Before we start with our next meeting, pop Saturday the 14th of December into your diary. That's the planned date for our annual outdoor club lunch and barbecue, which will be held in the Toowoomba area. Details coming, but weather permitting, it will be a day for everyone. Hams, YLs, yotas, and most likely with a few actual activities to show what our hobby is about. And a certain amount of eating and social activity will take place. Our next club meeting tech session is on Monday the 9th of December, and that'll take us into the exciting and very accessible topic of software-defined radios. This is where the traditional circuitry of LCR front ends in mixers, filters, amplifiers, mod, demods, detectors, and all manner of RF signal handling is replaced by software and some embedded electronics. As a result, you can do amazing things in very small packages. John, VK4JBE, will be our expert guide into the SDR world to help you understand what you can and can't do. This could be as simple as browser access to online SDR sites all over the world, or you could use your own dongle with Windows, Mac, Linux, or Raspberry Pi front end. John is bringing a heap of hardware to demonstrate, and we're going to allow extra time if you bring your own hardware along. Speaking of which, if you want to buy an SDR dongle, check the websites for the well-known online outlets. For under $100, you'd have just enough time to get one delivered ahead of the meeting if you ordered today. And if that's the sort of thing you might do, look on the web for RTL SDR V4. Many of the Chinese sites and local suppliers are comfortably able to deliver to Darling Downs in under 2 weeks. Reporting on our last meeting, Dave, VK4DN's talk on balloons was fascinating, and it's resonated with a number of members. Are you interested in doing something yourself or getting the club involved with such a project? Talk to us. Secretary at ddrci.org.au will find us and let us know your thoughts. Don't forget the 2-metre club net on VK4RDD every Sunday at 1000 and the 80-metre net on Saturdays at 1930. If you didn't write any of that, check the website. It's all there, and you can click through the calendar entries for more details. www.ddrci.org.au. Plus, you can read this month's newsletter and get access to all our other good info. Finally, if you haven't renewed your membership, now would be a good time. Think of it as your Santa's gift to the club. Membership is only $30 a year and less for concessions. Your membership helps fund club activities and it lets us know you care. The membership form for joining and renewals is on the website. And look, if you just want to get on our mailing list, that's fine too. Drop a note to secretary at ddrci.org.au and we'll make things happen to keep you informed. So once again, Monday the 9th of December for the SDR Tech Session and Saturday the 14th of December for the barbecue. That's it for this week. 73 from John, VK4 JPM, for the team at the Darling Downs Radio Club.
This is Q News from VK4 WIA, coming to you from volunteer relay stations around Queensland, Australia and the World Wide Web.
To paraphrase an old song, remember, remember, the 8th of December. This is Roger Harrison, VK2ZRH, for Q News. I kept my VK2 call sign when I retired to the Gold Coast in 2021 and promptly joined the Brisbane VHF group, with whom I'd enjoyed much correspondence over some decades. Besides, my firm friends from yonks ago, those major microwavers Doug VK40E and Kevin VK4UH, are prominent members, and my not joining would have been to my utter shame. I'm here to remind you, patient listeners, that the Brisbane VHF group is having a showcase day on everything about those mysterious upper bands, from VHF to microwaves, on the 8th of December. This showcase day is happening at the well-appointed Redcliffe and District Radio Club facilities. The showcase is also open to other groups and amateurs too. Maybe you're a Deep Space SWL. There'll be demonstrations of stuff you've never seen, along with a shed load of show and tell, and to keep you there for longer, we promise to lay on a barbecue lunch and drinks. What better way to spend your Sunday? Remember, the 8th of December. As our group president Kevin VK4 Q says, the success or failure of the venture depends on members' participation. Get there. I'll be walking, and I'll be there. This is Roger Harrison, VK2ZRH, for Q News, on behalf of the Brisbane VHF Group.
Across Queensland from VK4 WIA, you're tuned to Q News. On the Sunshine Coast, it's relayed on 146.825 and 146.850 at 9 a.m. I'm Gordon, VK4 VP.
Hello, I'm Jeff Emery, VK4 ZPP, and I've been thinking. There are lessons to be learned from activities on the internet, and it's not only the phishing and other scams that we need to be aware of. In the last month or so, I've received bogus friend requests from at least 3 supposed amateurs. After checking the bona fides of the requests, I've done the appropriate thing and reported these actions. I'm not surprised at the practical hypocrisy of the social media platform when they declined to remove the cloned accounts, as they didn't breach their amorphous community standards. The gargantuan video repository that provides a reasonable income to regular content creators has similar issues when it comes to ethics and standards. Anyone who has fallen foul of the anonymous and perhaps fictional fact-checkers must ask, what are the standards of behaviour that these platforms supposedly uphold? If we look back to the recent US elections and the posts that appeared on our screens, it was apparent that there were at least 2 worlds at war, and the truth of what was proposed could not be reconciled between them on so many times. This is something that we have been seeing debated in our own Australian Parliament, with a bill presented to make media companies adhere to the truth. The question that many have is, who decides what is true? When we think back to the COVID pandemic and what we were advised as matters of public health, and compare that with the scientific studies that are being published now, it seems obvious that what we were told is being confronted by different outcomes today. So it is that we electronics nerds use the tools at hand to improve our understanding of our subjects of interest. We turn to recognised authorities such as published handbooks and reliable internet resources to clarify points and settle points of confusion. This brings us back to the popular platforms which increase their base of knowledge by unimaginable amounts each day. Years ago, a new word was introduced to us, that is, wiki. Here is a tool that is maintained by volunteers and which aims to provide correct and accurate detail on subjects which interest at least enough people to prepare and maintain posts on them. I see that these online sources of fact have largely replaced the weighty books called encyclopedias and their successors in digital media. Still, errors occur in wiki posts, and it depends on the knowledge of the editor to get the corrections posted. Fortunately for most of us, amateur radio is a practical occupation where frequent debates as to theory can be left to chemists, physicists and engineers, and the benefits of their debates can inform us what best to do. All that I'm suggesting is that we need to exercise the same amount of caution when using the internet for our learning as we do when we use the internet for sensitive things such as maintaining personal records and activities like banking. With the words of caution in my ears, I'm Jeff Emery, and that's what I think. How about you?
From Queensland, this has been VK4 WIA and the weekly Q News Amateur Radio News Service. We thank our rebroadcast team and you for listening. And remember, internet text of this news is available by dropping a note to Q News at wia.org.au.